course, some Prabhupada said in Pure, there's some kind of, has to do with the material world, and some kind of a border between the material world and the spiritual world or something there, or the spiritual world, not really. Anyway, there's something, to hell, there's some Vaitarani river there. How does it look like? Where is it? Is it between the material and spiritual world? Not really. I think it's our existence in the hell, so anyway, some reason hellish. What?
It's a moat in hell, isn't it?
Yes, a moat in hell. I mean, but here it also says that the river of material worlds. Okay, that's interesting. Moat is like a border to hell. I mean, something you pass over.
Yes, I mean it's Valgrav.
Valgrav, you say Valgrav. The old food filled with these nasty things. That's at least one description. That's how material exists. The river of material world. The material world is full of nasty things. We're happy we can eat nice prasadam. And devotees will basically always have nice prasadam to eat. And then others eating not so nice. Of course, maybe they think it's nice, but then there's also the progress. They make all this nice food with all these chemicals. Okay, Krishna. It was interesting, this the moat around the hell. There's one book, it's kind of a nice book, by one John Bunyan, I think it was going to express, John Bunyan, called The Pilgrim's Progress. And he is a Christian, something in the 17th century. He had some kind of dreams or something, describing the Christian's progress through, how, he was also kind of lost in the material world and getting light from the scripture of the Puranas and the Bhagavatam over his Bible. And then he's living in a desert, and then he's getting some good association. There's different characters, faithful, Christian, there's a faithful, and there's someone other who's a little bit not so faithful. But at the end of the story, there is these three characters, and they're approaching the heaven, where the Vaikuntha, and something like that. And then there is this interesting, there is this river there. There is also in that book, there is this river that they have to cross. They have to cross this river to get to the other side. The river of material existence, and then in the case, one was faithful, so his faith carried him over. The other Christian, he was carried over. The hypocrite or something, I think he drowned or something. In a way, we can say the materialistic people drown in the material. They get drowned in the material existence. Okay, so then, of course, here we had Prabhu there put a question the other day, was, this about here. Prabhupada said that the devotees are afraid of material existence, but here Prahlad Maharaj says very clearly that I'm not afraid. What does it say? I'm not at all afraid of material existence. But in one sense we could say, for him, material existence didn't really exist. We could say, for him, material existence didn't really exist. He had already crossed it in a way, even though we're still here. In one sense, it's like they said that the material existence is like the footprint of hoofprint of the cow, hoof of a calf. So a cow makes a footprint, it's not so big, but the calf is even smaller, so it makes a small footprint. So then, for the material existence becomes like, for the sadhus who take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, and this is a boat with which you cross the ocean of material existence, who is like the Vaitarani. So to cross the ocean of material existence, you take shelter of the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord. And as you just very take shelter, again you just approach that boat, the ocean shrinks. One point is not bigger than the footprint of a calf, and then you easily cross beyond it. So in that way you can say, well, in one sense, Maharaj, I would then take it, he has already crossed the ocean of material existence, so what is there to be afraid of? He's already there, because he's here also. Again, the great souls, the great personalities may already be there and still remain a little bit here. But he's not afraid, and why? Because he's fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities, fully absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, and there's no fear. And that's, when they have this fear, and let's see, when the chanting of the holy name, that kirtan like that purifies the mind. And it actually puts us, from a mundane point of view, more in a less acidic situation, acidity in this body, in the existence. And the more acidic you are, the more fearful you may become. Whereas you're on the other side, acidic, then you're basic. I think there's basic, or alkaline. Alkaline then is more healthy. Your mind functions better and things like that. So then you're less fearful. Then now there is food that make you more alkaline or more acidic, or activities like this high pace modern society, or literature, or whatever activities, anything. Anxiety is like if you look at news, that is where you go, ooh, no, wait, what's happening? Ooh, terrible. This all makes you acidic. So then, just from a mundane point of view, but of course the Bhagavatam is transcendental in the transcendental literatures, but actually to absorb yourself in thoughts of the Lord and hearing about the Lord, and this is active, that actually turns you alkalic. Also just from a physiological point of view, your mind becomes different. So of course, in one sense, the fear is where that's just created. The more we embrace this material existence, the more fearful we become, because the more attached we become, the more fearful we become of losing that what is the cause of, or temporary cause of our happiness. Okay, so therefore, by taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, by chanting His glories and hearing about His glories, we in different ways get out of the attachment to material existence. We get out of the acidity of material existence, and we get into more alkaline position, where we're not touched by it, and then we can be Hare Krishna. Then even in face of death and threat of death, we will not be fearful. So from that position, being fully free from fear for his own self, he can also be fully compassionate to the conditioned souls. He has nothing to fear. Only something like Prabhupada. He had no fear of dying. He's not fearful. He was confident of Krishna's protection and guidance. So he could thus cross the ocean of material existence, the big ocean, on a steamship. Was it a steamship? And again, it was a ship, a cargo ship, Jaladvita. Was it a steamship? No, it was not. No, it's a SS means steamship, MS means motor ship. Okay. And it was not a steamship, okay, it was a cargo ship. It was a fairly modern ship. So he without fear crossed these big oceans to go to different continents to deliver Krishna consciousness. And then landing there in this foreign environment, he was, so that without fear, well, he may be concerned, thinking with how this will work out, but he's confident of Prabhupada's protection of Prabhupada. Prabhupada is confident, well, we should be confident of Prabhupada's protection, But he is confident of Krishna's protection. And thus he can sort of say, without fear, enter this fearful environment. But then when he enters that fearful environment, what does he find? He finds these conditioned souls. And actually they are receptive to Krishna consciousness there also. And that's by the mercy of the Lord he could preach and start this movement. Then by the mercy of the Lord and by the fact that he was fearless. Well, fearless. He was fearless because he was fully confident of the protection of the Lord. So that way. When we're not yet there, we may have some fear. We may have some healthy fear or respect. He has also described Durga Devi. That is, the materialists in India, they worship the goddess. Ma, mother, give me this, give me that. Yes, you know.
And now it's time for that festival.
That was coming now. When? Today?
Presently, yeah. It will happen for 9 days.
Okay, there is this, what is that?
Durga Puja.
The Durga Puja starts today?
It has started 3 days back.
Well, it started 3 days back.
This is 4th day. They will decorate so many things with goddess, like with lion vehicle, elephant vehicle, like that in different styles. They will decorate the goddess.
Okay, do they have such a temple here? No,
Not
not here, but in India, I think in Sweden there's some temples, Hindu temples also. Okay, so that is, in any case, they worship basically for material benefit. But then they want this, and then they go overhead, and then she turns her other side. Well, that's the expression Prabhupada said. Well, maybe, I think it comes from Goddess Durga. When God wants to give you something with his 10 arms, you can't take it all. And when he wants to take away something from you with his 10 arm, you can't keep it. But of course, maybe it comes from Goddess Durga because her 10 arms. So if she wants to give you, you can get so much, but again, when she wants to restrict you, then she will take. You can't hold back. And sometimes you have these really great big demons, and then Durga has to come herself and fight that demon and kill him. I think there was something in Mysore. There was a Mayasura who was killed by Goddess Durga. I think I that in Mysore and some places like that. Okay, then yes, so they worship and they adore the goddess so much, but then end up actually maybe annoying her by misusing the gift she's giving, and then she just gets angry and she uses her various weapons to, what did it say, to destroy them. So therefore you're thinking, Mother is very nice. Then she turns another side. Well, Mother is nice, but not you. Not we. And then she, as a good mother, punishes the kids.
They all sacrifice the animals for this goddess.
But they and sacrifice animals, yeah, they sacrifice goats. I guess we can imagine so much killing is going on now in the name of worshiping Goddess Durga. In case that's not our path. Our path is the path of chanting the holy name of the Lord and worshipping the Lord in Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. And he's satisfied patram pushpam palam tuyam. He's satisfied in a little bit flower, food, or water. We don't need to make any ghastly animal sacrifices or bloody sacrifices. Okay, Hare Krishna. Let's chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Practice depending on the Lord. Practice to try to see or contemplate the fact that the Lord is in everyone's heart. And of course the Lord is in the heart, and there's also soul in the heart, and then we are in this wonderful creation that we really get caught up in. When we then use his body and mind and everything for the service of the Lord as far as we can. Okay, so maybe I have some question or comment. Yes, Prabhu.
sometimes, for example, yesterday we heard a lecture by Srila Prabhupada where he mentioned that we cannot bestow any favor if it is not sanctioned by the Lord. So like, yeah, we heard that he stressed that point again and again and again. So like, we hear and we meditate and we contemplate, but then when we go on the street and try to do something, then immediately the false ego is there.
Yeah.
Even though we hear so many times that you are not the doer and you should depend on the Lord and like that, then like, it's like, why is it so hard to conquer this false ego?
Because that's a false ego. The false ego is so strong. I mean, it's the final binding, most subtle. Maybe because it's the most subtle element. So therefore, it's most evasive to catch it. To catch. This is easy. I can catch the iPad. Okay, that's easy. But then I can read the text. But then to fully understand the text, that's more, it goes from a more subtle level. To understand it is more subtle, so to capture that, the full understanding, or some understanding, and then maybe more subtle understanding, so aspects of it, so it becomes more, it requires more to capture it in a way. So in a way to capture the false ego, understand. So that is most subtle, therefore it's most difficult. Now of course, you go on this, okay, what is Prabhupada said, without the Lord's sanction, you can't bestow any favor. How did he say?
The verse yesterday was Prahlad Maharaj, he was praying that it's not very difficult for you, my Lord, to bestow favor and like deliver all the suffering living entities. And then Prabhupada, he made this point that it's not very difficult for the Lord to bestow favor, but for us it's practically impossible.
It's not difficult for the Lord to bestow favors, but for us it's practically. Okay, now read. No, that was Prabhupada's lecture. This is the purport. Okay. Yes, well, and so we can't really. Then again, we have to see ourselves as servants. So as soon as we see the enjoyer or with the doers, I'm going to bless you. I'm going to bless you with this book. I don't want that book. Who are you? But then in a serving spirit. Then if you're truly in a serving spirit, then they say, okay, yes, nice, someone may take. But of course, you're so lucky that you go out and distribute books on the street, because that is a big sacrifice, a yajna dana tapa. Yajna should never be given up, not dana, not tapa either. But then Prabhupada says is that yajna is specifically. He says that it's specifically for the brahmacharis, and it's brahmacharinis. Then dana, he says, is for the grihastas. They're supposed to have. They may have some money, so there should be some resources. Should be resourced. They should give in charity. And then the sannyasis and the vanaprasthas, they should engage in austerity. What it says. But then the interesting thing with our movement is that the sacrifice of chanting and hearing and distributing books, very much is on the street, this is Sankirtan Yajna, very much has been done by the brahmacharis and brahmacharini, the unmarried. Of course, some grihastha also, but it tend to be more the activity of the. So that is a sacrifice. So you're lucky. And then in this sacrifice, yes, we will get out there, with theoretical concept of one, but actually to be in a state of dependence on the Lord. That's practice. So you have the golden opportunity to practice. And of course you forget, but I know that you're out in practice and forgetting, and then forgetting and think, what am I doing, or what's going on? And then in that helpless position, we turn to prayer to the Lord. So to pray for the Lord's mercy, kindness, and whatever, and then all of a sudden someone takes again. Or it starts to happen again, so to say. And then we may again think, now I know how to do it. I have the key and it's going to go, and again, so to say, at that moment it doesn't work, at least not so nicely. And also, we don't really favor, without the favor of the Lord, so we can also say it's by the favor of Guru and Krishna we can do anything, so therefore we have to ask for favor of Guru and Krishna, and senior Vaishnavas like that. The good Buddhist, which is the Buddha devotees, the good preacher, whatever, is always anxious to getting the blessings of the seniors. And that way it feels good, then it gives them support. Then we understand, yes, I'm dependent. Maybe even dependent on understanding that I'm dependent. We need the blessings. Okay, yes. So, but false ego is most subtle, so it's most difficult to catch. It has some way of infiltrating our thought system. Okay, then also the point is not just a theoretical concept. It's challenging to actually live it. Okay, so that's Sankirtan is a great opportunity for that. Any other question or comment?
It was last year this time that didn't they have a magnificent Durga Puja in Nepal at this time?
Yeah, and something.
Yes.
And also
And then the earthquake came.
and then it really got
After 4 months.
After 4 months.
Exactly after 4 months on the same day.
On the same date. On the same day, moon calendar.
No, in English calendar, I don't know how to know.
In the Indian calendar. English calendar. According to the English calendar. It happened exactly 4 months after.
Yes.
Yes, see.
I was definitely.
And that's an extraordinary sacrifice, not just a regular, or I don't know what, in any case I had it, yes.
Yeah, they have sacrificed 5 lakhs of animals.
5 lakhs, and they were very proud of that. We've sacrificed 5 lakhs of animals. And then, now Durga should be very happy with us.
One man sacrificed 350 animals. Of his
350
Of his own animals.
of his own animals. One man did. Okay. Yes, Krishna.
Krishna.
So we sacrifice our lives, our own lives, not other lives.
I have one question about, you mentioned this story the other day with the aunt in Hill.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that's a kind of Christian story. Okay.
yeah, but it's very much connected to this, like,
Yeah.
mood of Prahlad Maharaj.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, because I think I heard some statement where Prabhupada said to some devotee that either we all go back to Godhead or nobody goes back.
Okay.
So I was thinking it's really like this, in one sense, it's also said like you have to fly at the time of death, you have to fly your own airplane.
Yes.
But then we also see the example like Prahlad Maharaj and Guru Maharaj, when they're going back, they also think about, like Guru Maharaj, who think of my mother. They have this mood, it's not they're thinking that only I'm going, they want to take
Yes.
others.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's actually I haven't really heard that statement to Prabhupada. But,
Yeah, I'm not sure, but
What statement?
maybe in a specific.
either we all go back or no one goes back. But we could also take that as an attitude. I don't believe we have to fly around the airplane at the end of life. But in like an attitude that no, I'm not going to go back. I want all or no one. Well, if they don't go back, then I stay to continue to preach or something. Could also be a way of viewing it. Let's see. We all have to go back. Okay. Hey, shape up. Of course, then there's. Are we going to stay here forever? So that's interesting. Are we gonna stay here together forever? Are we gonna make it? The Amish, they're kind of interested because their concept, if I understood it right, is a little bit. One thing they have is that they don't allow you to have a car and motorbike, and bicycle seems to be okay for someone. And this online, what do you call it, online, or this skateboard or something like that is okay. Because the principle there is that you're not allowed to travel too far in one day so you don't come back. You know, you're not allowed to go too far away from the herd, from the congregation or the and then they actually have some kind of concept, because of the concept that you can do it yourself, and therefore someone gets into this modern Christianity with you're saved by Christ and everything. They don't like that in that way, because then you think you alone are saved, but we do this together. And so that's a kind of nice way we could say that we do this together. We are practicing Krishna consciousness together for the sake of going back home, back to God, so to say, together. And then we can expand that. We should not practice this death for our own self. Then we expand it out, so to say, in the society. We want everyone. We understand that we should want. Or we should be care. We should care. We should be compassionate. Well, one says, my liberation depends on your liberation, or my perfection depends on your perfection. In one sense, then I become very anxious to see that you become that you maximize your spiritual, adhikar, codification. Interesting. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Something more. Well, Prabhupada certainly, for him there was no limits. Let's expand it. Bringing everyone. Okay, then good. So then they have Durga Puja now. When we mentioned, okay, Goddess Durga, Hare Krishna. Be respectful, okay? We should not play with her, or neither not put them down, neither be respectful in a proper way, respect her and engage in devotional service, and she will be happy with that sacrifice. Okay, so Prabhupada,
Yeah.
Ki.